was disappointed in our urgency and to not provide an excuse, but I mean, Cleveland State does a really good job of creating space, finding shots. Obviously, they have a number of guys on the floor that can shoot the ball. So 7 threes for them in the first half isn't atypical. The frustrating part is that you know that that's what they're hunting, and you still give up 7 threes, right? So I just feel like we didn't have the urgency that was necessary on that end. And I thought, obviously, in the second half was a much better level of urgency and detail that was necessary to be able to get stops. And I think at one point we had, close to double-digit stops in a row, and that was where we really were able to take control of the game.
Just like last year, you guys finished the regular season on a 7-game win streak. Are there certain qualities you've noticed about them the last month that remind you at all of how that went?
No, I mean, I think with this group, and maybe to some extent, I don't remember as much from last year. I think sometimes, like when the season's over, obviously everybody wants to wax poetic about, how it was so easy and everything just flowed beautifully and there was never any issues or never any, close games or concerns. And you kind of you try to focus on where you're at. And, I think these guys have done a good job of continually trying to improve throughout the year. They've certainly grown as a group. I think guys have become comfortable in how they need to execute on both sides. We've had numerous guys step up in numerous situations and make big plays and big shots for us. There's some similarities, I guess, then, in that regard to last year because, we had numerous guys that would be our leading scorer on different nights, right? And this year, Deshaun, Nikos, Ryan, Darius, a number of guys that have been able to get, 20-plus points, double-digit scoring, ball movement. Those would be the similarities. But again, our goal right now is just to kind of continue to try to, focus on the next task, and we'll figure out who that will be tonight, and then, go from there. But it's been great to kind of see their growth as a group, and hopefully we can continue to stay together and continue to play as well as we can as we come down the stretch of the conference tournament.
Are those guys capable of responding on their own in the second half? Did they have to have some problem?
There was some prompting. There was some prompting. One of the things I will say is the difference a little bit from last year to this year is last year's group was very, very easily turned up, right? Like they were a wired, competitive group, and you could whisper something maybe not so kind to them, and it would kind of light the fire. This group's a little bit different than that, and I think for the last couple of weeks we've tried to really keep it as light and as kind of humorous as we can to try to just get guys a little more at ease. And today at halftime we jumped them a little bit to try to because again, whatever your message is, sometimes the same message consistently can get old, and so we had to jump them a little bit, and a couple of those timeouts there to start the second half as well. And then we kind of, I think, the message got through the thick cement walls that we're dealing with.
Something I want to ask about is, like, obviously we've seen what Darius has been able to do, and then Sam's come on, Eddie's come on. I mean, how important is that group in their growth to the turnaround that you guys had over the last month?
I mean, at one point in time in one of the last huddles there, Albert was yelling at them that they're not freshmen anymore. You know what I mean? And I think that's the hope that as you get towards the end of the year and guys have gotten some experience, that they're able to function. I thought, Sam's first rotation was not very good, and then I thought he really responded well. Eddie's obviously been continually giving us more and more positive play. Physically he has all the ability. It's just, can you be executing? Can you be urgent all the time that you're out there? Because if he is, he came in with a college-ready body and college-ready athleticism. It's just a matter of understanding the importance of all the details that are a part of it. And sometimes when you are blessed with some of the athletic ability and strength that he has, you can rely on that and get away with it. Well, now the guy across from you is, just as athletic or just as strong, or maybe not just as, but he certainly can take advantage of you if you're a step short or a step late or out of position. And, I think Eddie's had to learn that a little bit the hard way. And then obviously, Darius from the beginning was a guy that we knew we needed to have help with offense. And I think his biggest growth has come, just in his consistency on the defensive side. I mean, early in the year, he was a little bit of a liability on that side just because he was casual. And now He's doing a good job of holding his own. He's doing a good job of taking on the challenge of not being the guy that's breaking down. And I think that's the growth you've seen in him.
Where do we stand with Albert Vargas now? Is he going to be in the picture, do you think?
Yeah, we're hoping so. I mean, we think he's really close. You know, it's funny. I think like anytime you have some of those ankle injuries, certain movements can affect it more than others. And so, you know, we're trying to do all we can. He's trying to do all he can. He's spent, you know, a ton of time in the training room, and you know, we're hoping to get him, you know, in some way, shape, or form. And I think one of the things that's great about Albert is he doesn't want to go out there and hurt the team. So he's almost saying, well, like, if I don't know if I can go out and just hold my own, I don't want to go out there and negatively impact the team, which I respect. But I think, you know, I think obviously we need, you know, some contribution from him as we come down the stretch here in the tournament, because you just need to have as many available, capable bodies as you can.
Obviously, he hasn't had a chance to run or...
Yeah, I mean, he has some straight lines. You know, like, again, straight lines is pretty good. But again, the game's not played in a straight line. And that's where some of the pain and discomfort come, or that's where he doesn't feel as capable of recovering if he needs to recover, or, you know, containing the ball if that's the case, or creating space offensively to initiate offense. Those are some of the things. So we've been trying to get him into some stuff, non-contact and things in practice. Just don't think he's comfortable enough yet to really go where he's, you know, banging bodies and stuff like that.
You talked about keeping last month light in Uverse. I mean, what's the next 4 days look like for you guys as you get ready to play a game on Wednesday?
Yeah, I think obviously, you know, tonight is, you know, kind of rest and recover and try to figure out who the opponent will be, and then, you know, get guys, you know, together probably at some point tomorrow just to kind of get them focused and understanding of what is at stake. And, you know, I still think that, you know, not creating anxiety for them is the best way to approach this group. And that's what we'll try to do as we, you know, prepare for Wednesday.
All right, thanks, guys.
Does that get you guys going? What is he at?
He's really the same guy, like the same personality that you see on the court, just energetic, just want to make people better. It's the same guy on the bench. He just keeps like giving advices, clapping, like just doing everything he can, control what he can control from the bench, and just trying to help the team. And we really appreciate him.
Getting off something you said earlier, I mean, nothing really has been won yet. So, like, how do you keep that mindset going into the tournament?
I mean, like our coach said, from now on, every game, we just, like, our goal is to put the jersey one more time. So it's really like, that's the easiest part right now. The motivation is the easiest part, because you know what you got ahead of you. If you're like November, December, you still got a whole season ahead of you. You might think, oh yeah, we can drop some games. Nothing is going to happen. Right now, it's really do or die.
Thank you.
All good. Thank you.